I'm sorry to say, my personal opinion is majority of the men that go back home to marry those women, they don't go to marry them because I'm looking for true love. They're going to marry them because they feel that those women can be controlled. Those women will look up to them.
Mm,
It's a matter of
mm,
superiority. You understand?
mm,
So when they go
mm,
back there, because according to them, women like us that grew up here, our eyes have opened. We are too woke. We are
mm,
too legislature bound. You
mm,
can't tell us. We know the law. We know the days. So there's one back there. His little $100 a month is not even
mm,
up to my pack lunch. But the girl
mm,
back home, if he sends her $100, she'll be like this. So they
mm,
underestimate those queens back home, thinking that those women don't know what they want. But in today's modern society, we see on social media, they're more reckless than us. But
mm.
I don't want this long distance rubbish.
Relationship.
You understand? Because
Mm,
I don't believe that you can build a connection from a
mm,
distance. And that's one
mm,
thing we keep forgetting, that the mind doesn't function like that. Out of sight is out of mind. You
mm,
understand? But what builds a connection
mm,
is what? The way you look at each other, the way you argue,
mm.
the way you amend your problems. Those are the little threads that builds love.
Hello, guys. I welcome you again live on SBTV International. My name is DJ Nyame. If you just chance on our channel, I welcome you on board on Daily Hustle Worldwide. Just subscribe to our channel, share, invite your friends to join us. If you want to come on my show, my numbers are on the screens. Just WhatsApp me wherever you are. All you need is the internet, and you share your story with us. Whatever you've been through, whatever you're doing, whatever you've learned so far, any regrets, this platform is open to all, worldwide thing. So link up, let's have a vibe. Today, where am I going? I'm going to the UK to have a chat with Yolanda. This is the second time inviting her on my show. Yolanda, I welcome you live on SBTV International. How are you doing?
Hey, SVTV, I'm good.
Sexy baby.
Hey.
So
Round
she's
two.
based in the UK from Cameroon. I mean, after our first convo, what was the feedback? I'm sure your friends or people you don't know, some contacted you, some reach out, and what was the feedback? I mean,
Ooh, my inbox was flooding. The feedbacks were very positive, and
mm,
some a lot of people messaged me asking
mm,
me questions like how did I overcome stammering, and some people were also very much interested in my life and how long I've lived in England, and yet I'm so cultured. And under your YouTube, there was a
mm.
lot of good comments, and I thank everyone for sending me that kind of positive comment. And I got told I'm a
Wow.
gem, a special gem, special breed. And someone said I'm very pretty. And I was like,
Mm.
thank you.
Yes, you
It's
are.
good
Yes,
to
you
get
are pretty.
positive.
Yes, you are pretty. Yes, of course.
Black is
And what
beautiful.
about the inbox? Were there any proposals?
There was a few like people, especially from Ghana. A lot of
Oh.
men from Ghana was inboxing, wanting to know. And one of them said they were asking how much do I what are my expectations for salary so I can move over.
Mm.
Like I said, I don't mind settling down in Africa. So there were pretty much some sweet talking going on. But it's good to,
Wow. Means you got new friends now, eh?
oh yeah, I've made some new friends, and especially like in London, I've got a lot of like females and the opposite sex wanting to know me. But there's always some of them that they have their own intention, but we spot that
Oh,
from far. So, but
oh,
everyone is just was has been very supportive.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
That's so good. It's good to be here. I mean, I tell people that the platform is open. I mean, come and let's have a vibe. Let's encourage others. Let's learn from others and all that. So that's why we created this our English channel. We have our other channel, which is SVTV Africa, and that's one. When you
Mhm.
go there, uh, we are speaking in our local dialects. You'll be confused. So we decided to
Okay.
bring the English channel so that everybody will understand. So I mean, it's open. So link up. Just WhatsApp me. My numbers are on the screens. Let's vibe. So today you are here. I want us to
Mm-hmm.
touch on a few things. Let's talk about, since you are in the UK, I've hosted quite a number of people. They're talking about finding job in the UK, hustling in the UK. Things have changed and all that. I mean, you've been there for so many years. I mean, tell us more about what are the new measures. I know we have um, the youth coming in and all that, some complaining of job and all that. I mean, what we can do and also that. And then I'll ask you other matters. So today, you are there. Let's talk about finding a job in the UK.
First of all, finding a job everywhere is quite difficult at the moment as the economy has just flipped 360. Here in the UK, the cost of living has literally taken over, in the sense that everything is pretty much expensive, like house, bills, you know, is everything's gone up. So job wise, you have to be very, have tactics, and like be willing to spread your wings and be open, because you can't say you have a degree in these and that's what you want to do, because we have people that have master degree, doctorate degree, but they are working in healthcare. So it's just keeping your mind open and your opinion open, but it's a very difficult field. United Kingdom now, for me, it's not really like it was before. Everything is a lot tougher. So I always say, if you're coming into England to find work, it doesn't matter whether you have your papers, everything is there. But because everything is so bound by policies and laws and stuff, so certain visas or certain documents restrict you from certain hours of working. So you
Mm,
have foreign students that have only like 20 hours a week to work. So your 20 hours and somebody that's on 40 hours or 37.5 hours, you're still living the same lifestyle, same expenditure, same rent. So I always say it's challenging, and you have to be willing to know that, like I said previously in that video, you start from the bottom before you find your way up. You know,
mm,
job
mm,
jobs now are quite tough, you know. And
mm,
in this part of the world, it's not about degree, it's not about qualification, it's about
mm,
experience. Because a normal carpenter, which is looked
mm,
down upon back home, in Europe or in England, a carpenter earns more than somebody that works in an office.
mm,
They make ridiculous amount of money. A cleaner probably earns a lot more. You know, it just varies on how you spread your option and how determined you are. Because I always say determination breaks boundaries. That fighting spirit, you know, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, like they call
mm,
it, but dirty in a clean way, not dirty in the other side of way that will land you in other issue with the law,
mm.
you know.
Talking about skill jobs, we are not paying too much attention on technical vocational
Mm-hmm.
fields. Most of the youth are doing this chew and pour English. They speak, they go and do some courses. Most don't
Yes.
have a skill. So, as you said, when they come there, they don't have any skill. How do they start?
Like if you, well, in this part of the world, the one thing I absolutely adore about the Western world is that it's not about you not knowing something. You have the chance to learn to know something. Whether you have a skill or you don't have a skill, I look at your effort. I look at your enthusiasm. If you have enough zest for that job, and there
Mm,
is no
mm,
job in this part of the world. I mean, I speak for England. you cannot start a job without being on probation, without being shadowed. So you will have at least 1 month to 3 months of shadowing, depending on the kind of work. So from that little training session, they would then assess to see if you're able to take the job. So if you want to do electricity, for example, you go to, let's say, Hackney Community College, and they do plumbing and electricity. Once you complete your course, while you're studying, you're also doing practical. So you're training in the job. So in this part of the world, it's not about, I don't have the skills, I can't do this. Like I said, if you want it, you get it. If you want to know, there are ways to do it. And you just have to, like, look around, because whether you have money or not, there are courses that the government are funding for free. Online courses to class courses. But based on the fact that technology is becoming very, vast, a lot of things are going online, but you can get qualifications for little tiny course like health and social care. Like you can talk about management programs. You can talk about first aid skills, little basic skills that you can implement in work setting. So
what about
for me,
IT? Because IT is taking over now, eh?
IT previously, I would say IT was the umbrella, the key, the golden job, but which falls under technology still. But in order to just be on the old school IT, it's not making it. What is really,
Not
really
not the old school IT. You are talking about cyber security.
there. Cyber security is what is the ish. Literally, is what is big right now in IT. If you can learn, if you can get right now in England, based on this whole scale of terrorism and data protection and safeguarding of people in the land, they are investing so much money on cyber security right now, protecting people's information online, from learning how to, just guarding information. So it depends the level. You can even, like my workplace, even I have people that I have done that training, that are cleaners. All you have to do, like I said to you, if you're willing, you just enroll and get going. It could be 3 weeks course of cyber. They don't look at who's got paper. As long as you have the right to work, you have the right to learn. You understand? So it's all about, I feel like with us Africans coming over here, like I said, previous video, people always, they have this notion that everything is gonna be like, hooray, fairy tale, my life don't change, I will reach there, everything will be like heaven sent. So once you build your mindset to that, my life don't better, like I don't better, I'm good, I'm this. When I get there, I'll get this, I'll get that. And you come here, it goes from flowers to snow, from sun to sliding on ice. You see it on social media. Some days like now, it looks like nighttime, it's dark. So things are not gonna be the way you expect. So your mindset in terms of growing, if you're not strong willing, you will get depressed easily in this part of the world, because isolation is the #1 best friend in Europe. You find yourself being alone, you go to work, you come home and sleep. And that work is back to back, because for let's say the average healthcare is 12 hours a day. I've done healthcare. I like literally is up and down, washing, feeding, eating, doing those. So you go from 8 to 8. Plus the time you get home, you're literally getting home 9:30, some people 10, depending on your distance. And then you're back up again for 6 o'clock, so you can make it back for 7 or 8. Just like that, 4 days a week. If you want overtime, 5 days a week. So know that is about grinding. In UK slang, we call it, you have to grind. You go in there and grind and just stick, like tuck your hand in there and get going. You know,
What
when
about
it comes to,
connection? What about connection? I mean,
oh
getting
yeah,
the right people, making some contacts, getting links. Uh, do connections also help in the UK?
connection with work is the same. I will say, to be honest, round the whole world is like the same broken man, no man. You understand?
Mm,
But the only
mm,
difference with the connection in the UK is that, or in this part of the diaspora, is that I might know you and you come for a job. I can't just give you that job. You still have to go through procedures of application form, interview. But where I have the strength is as a manager, I can
mm,
shortlist you and put you in
mm,
there. That really
mm,
works. Unlike for what I've heard and also seen from family members back home, is that if I know you, I want a job, you just say, Yolanda, start Monday. You see the difference? So if you
mm,
go there, you don't perform, I can do my bit to push you. But if you don't perform well, it's a panel that interviews you. More than one person will interview
mm.
you. But nonetheless, connection is still a vital, it plays a vital part in employment in this part of the world. And that's why I said networking. Don't
Yeah, that's
listen when people
networking.
say, yeah, networking. Try to go out. I keep telling people, someone could say to you, England is so boring. You go to work, you come home, you don't have no life, but the internet, there's an app called Event Bites. Event Bites is where you can find every event in London, from clubs to restaurant to art to theater, everything. So I always say to people, it's not about I need it to come to me. You need to go to it. And that's where we as Africans, we always get it twisted because we are so comfortable with I know you, you know me, connect me to
Mm.
somebody that knows somebody. We don't step out of our zone to say, no, hi, I'm Yolanda. Nice to meet you, even at a bus stop. Socializing, come out of your comfort zone and mingle with different culture, and you make your connection and fly away, you know?
Wow, that's perfect. I mean, all what you have said is very important. I mean, it's something that we need to consider for you to survive in the Western world. All those things you need to have those connection, networking, and all that. I hosted one a lady from India, and she was talking about family, the network, and all that. Those things are there, so it's very important. Let's talk about, I mean, finding love, because recently I've seen videos from some of the ladies and the guys too as well. Um, in Western world, they talk about finding love is difficult. I mean, you need to go online, you don't know the person. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's all you've been there. I mean, finding love yourself. I know you are single, so you're also finding a love, but you are looking for a love in
Not
Africa.
really. Love
But
comes to those.
you said last time that you are single. That's what the men are coming
Listen,
after.
this is the notion that people don't understand. You can be single, but it doesn't necessarily mean you are yearning for love. You're
Okay.
open to it if it comes, but you're not
Okay.
like, I need a man now, actually. Maybe I do.
Attention.
You never
Okay.
know. Hit
Hmm.
me up, then you know.
Hmm.
Anyway, back to the
Is
topic.
finding a love difficult uh in the UK, or maybe you're part of UK where you are finding a love?
Um, Finding love, I would say, is one of the most difficult things in life in general. Finding
Hmm.
the soulmate, finding the right person that in tunes with you. Love has
Hmm.
always been the most beautiful thing, but yet the most difficult thing, you know. So whether UK or Africa or Germany or anywhere in Europe, finding love
Hmm.
in general is very, very tough, but yet so
Hmm.
simple. It's very
Hmm.
difficult to find love in London. I'm not gonna lie, because like you've heard from your other people you've interviewed, people go work, come home, go work. They don't socialize. So if you don't socialize, how do you find love? One, if you're too stuck up on chasing the coins or the paper,
Hmm.
how do you find love?
Hmm.
But I think what happened with, I speak for my generation, is that we've got so stuck with social media love. The whole picture, the perfect picture, the whole advance of you need money before you can get a wife, you can get a love, the men feels, oh, if I don't have money, then maybe girls will not look at me. I need to be balling to get the best girls. And then the girls too are looking at the guys like, if you ain't got no coins, don't call my name. It's become a thing of exchange. You understand? Not about feelings. For example, now everyone just works, and love is something that is very, like I said, it's difficult to connect with people now that everyone's mindset is about making it. The whole point of me and you struggling together to build something no longer really exists. Everyone wants the ready-made package. And if somebody, for example, a guy flies from Ghana and come to the UK with a student visa, most time women here will think he wants to use me for paper. But not every man is after a document. Some people just want love. And if the document comes with that love, what is wrong you passing on something that you were given? At the end of the day, the way I see this issue with love and paper is that people need to stop thinking like they helping somebody to come up in life. If you love them, it's a problem, it's a bad thing. So most women here, they will size you. Do you have paper? Do you have this amount of, they start putting bullet point checklists on a man. Same thing with the men. And I feel like nowadays the balance has been redressed. Men are now becoming like women. They want a woman that will look after them. So the old-fashioned man and the old-fashioned woman, like our grandmas and mothers, I think it's hard to find. And if you do find one, keep it, because it's not easy to find love. Most people here is all about infatuation is love in this part of the world. I can lust for you, and once I've had my way, then I might have to think. That's not all, but majority of the mind is lust instead of love. You understand? But then again, they will say, what is love? Love is lust, you see. And I feel like the issue is that people are not really educated mentally about what love is and the meaning of love. We've gone so stuck with the television and the social media definition of love that we've lost our own given skills and ability to love. You understand? Some women, when they love, they are submissive. And some men, when they love, they are also submissive. But the average man that shows some form of submissiveness to their woman is considered weak. You cry as a man to a woman is weak. You let her do what she wants to do. For example, you go and do the shopping, you carry the bag, and people look at you like, my God, she's controlling him. Oh, it's because he wants the paper. It's because he wants the. But maybe he's just so in love that he doesn't want his woman to stress. It's not because he's African, he doesn't have paper. He's with a white woman, meaning he wants paper. Love has no color. Love has no boundary. So it's what you put in your mind that you will then act it physically when it comes to love. But I advise that there is love everywhere you go, but you have to, how can I put it? Let me think. If you think positive and you believe that you want love, you will attract love. So you only attract what you are. So if I have a negative thought about love, I'm only going to attract men that also think in that form. And if I don't have enough courage to sacrifice for love, I'm only going to meet what we call, I can't swear, but the F boys. And depending on your sexuality, F boy or F girl. Because now we can't just say it's man, woman, There's women, women, men, men, preference of choice, that's your business.
Are you
But
are you are you
it's,
are you talking from your previous experience, what you have also seen, or
of course, even
what you have also been through?
of course, what for me, my experience is what you realize that they are, and I speak for women, I can't speak for men, but I realize
Mm,
that as a black woman, and sometimes when you have a certain level of IQ as well, and you're very confident, and you're very not afraid, you are a go-getter, sometimes it does intimidate men. Let's be honest. The average woman nowadays is not like our mother's days. The average woman will probably earn most higher than a husband. Most women earn higher than their husband at home. But it takes a
mm,
strong man to take an alpha female, like they call it. An alpha is just a feminine, like a feminine
mm,
that is very strong willing. She don't care, she'll get the job. She can juggle two kids and still become a lawyer. So when I say, when it comes to myself, I've come to realize that because I am so I used to hold on to the past a lot.
mm, mhm,
And I realized that when you hold on to the past, it affects your ability to express, to show love, and to be willing to accept love. So until I start telling myself, I deserve to be loved, and I do want love, and I'm built for love. You have to understand, as a woman, we are put to multiply,
mm,
like have children, do things, but it's not just that, it's just the fact that you want to do it with the right person. There's a lot of single mothers in the UK because boys are wanting to be men. Your age does not determine your maturity. So a lot of boys are men, but I don't. It's very weird, but I'm just saying the men, they need to step up a little bit.
Talking about stepping up a little bit, most of the men too also have this perception about um, ladies that they are at age from 28, 29, 30s, their late 30s. When going for them, they have some kind of perception that, oh, this woman or this lady that doesn't have good character by now, she should have married. I don't know what I'm saying if you get it.
Yeah, I
Those some of
understand
them have those perceptions.
that something must be
This one,
wrong.
something there is something wrong. Because if she's good,
Um,
why is she still single? Have you thought about that? I
but
know you've heard all those things I'm asking you.
oh yeah, I've heard. For me, when, like I said, the mind is like a massive playground. Your mindset determines, like I keep saying, your age does not define what God has assigned for you. The
Mm,
patient dog, like they say, always eat the fattest bone. Just because it
mm,
came to Janet in their
mm,
20s doesn't mean it will
mm,
come to Yolanda in her 30s. The problem we
mm,
have, like we say, is comparison. We need to stop comparing. Life does not tell you when you're going to be 30. You don't know when
mm,
you wake up tomorrow. So why do we put this fictitious mind that a woman at 40 means that there's something wrong with her? You don't know her past story. You don't know anything. Okay, okay, example now. I'm in my 30s, late 30s. And I will say somebody will look at me and think, this girl, like, she's in her 30s and she's not married. She doesn't have blah, blah, blah. But I ask myself, what do you want me to do if life takes me on a different olive branch? We don't ask for life changes, it just appears. Maybe I
mm,
was in an abusive relationship because I would rather be single than be in an abusive relationship. Because at the end of the day, nobody was born with anybody. So I cannot look at you and think, oh, at 30, you can't have a kid. But you have women in their 40s having kids. And even if science has come in to say, no, what, they can help for those who are finding difficulties. Like I said, you stop listening to stereotype and understand that life boxes you in a corner. But you have to say, am I that box? No. You have to believe that it's just like somebody that is working in had a struggling life in Africa, selling in the hot sun, in the car park, in a motor park. And then for some reason they play the American lottery and they win the lottery. They come to Europe and they start facing difficulty. That person has more chance to succeed because they know what being under pressure, they know what struggling is. But does that mean that that person that used to sell in the market is not good enough for a young girl like me to call my husband? But look, in the space of what? Nature, God has switched his life around. So you can't look at people by age. You can't look at people by what they do and how much they earn. Tomorrow could be a different game. So I believe that that mindset is primitivity. It's very primitive.
Is it like your system that is maybe the like they say, the men say that favors the women? So is it your system that's causing all these things?
I think the system has a big part to play with it, but people say here in the UK, women are more favored. I would say the law protects women a lot because let's be honest, women are deemed as vulnerable, you know, in the eyes of the stereotype. So sometimes certain countries put those laws in place to protect women, but having the right to express yourself does not mean that you are an anarchy, like you're stubborn, you don't want to listen. No, but it's a fact of life. You cannot determine somebody's future tomorrow. So you're not God. You cannot sit there and tell me that, oh, I can never get married, or there's something wrong with me because I'm not married. That's stupidity. Absolutely stupid. It's a primitive mindset.
But they said based on that, some of you people take advantage of some certain situations because
true.
the law favors you people. So some of you people, you take advantage of that. So the men feel
So
like
these are women that are grown up here. So women that grew up here in the Western world. But can I say something? We have women that they married them in Africa and bring to Europe, and they're 10 times worse than us that have been here. What I keep telling people is marry where you are. You cannot expect to say women are like this, women are like that, when most of the time the women that men are sleeping, talking, dealing with are random strangers. It's a stranger because you don't know me. You live on the other part of the world, and I only see you when you're happy. I go to a club, you pick me in a club, and the next thing you know, I just feel like some men have an issue with the fact that what they saw growing up domestically is not what's playing out in the new modern reality world. You understand? So the average mom in back home, or even in the Western world, the man is the provider. The man puts measures in place and it has to be abided by. But meanwhile, now women are allowed to express. Women are allowed to earn. You can't say, sit down, and the woman will just sit nowadays. They'll ask you, why am I sitting down? And that could be a problem for some men. But then again, if we want to talk about women having too much, well, what power do we have though? You have no right to make someone's child feels unsafe. And if you are unsafe, you have to seek for help. Help is at the disposal here. We have 999. America have 911, you know. But I think some women as well, they also take advantage of that. But I will tell you that the women here in the UK that grew up here, and I'm not just supporting us, I'm saying if you're in the UK, find one in the UK or wherever you are, going to bring women out there, because a lot of men, especially African men, they have that notion that the girls back home are more homely, They don't have bad characters. But yet now you see them on social media. They are calling police on them. Some of them are homeless. Some of them they bought houses out of their sweat, but they don't live in it because that woman's chopped them out. So I just think people should stop generalizing about laws, about things. If you're not happy being a man or a woman, get out.
But if it's not the laws, when we are married and we are in Africa, we move on, everything is perfect. The moment we move from Africa to the Western world, things turn around. Why? Is it not the laws? Is it not the system that favors you?
The law, I would say the system has what we call freedom of expression. Meanwhile, where we're from, freedom is limited in certain areas. For example, if you're a young girl, you run into the police station today, say, oh my God, I was abused. I was blah, blah. They will laugh at you. They're not like, some will say, oh, they haven't paid you, Abi, or this. It becomes a thing of laughter and mockery. Meanwhile, here, if you run into a police office saying that you were abused, they'll want to know straight away, safeguard you, questioning, what is this? But I just feel like the reason those women that come from Africa and come here and change is because they've now tasted what freedom of expression is. Because some men that will bring women over, they start thinking they are superior over them. Some of those women may go through a domestic abuse. It's not necessarily physical. It's me constantly making you feel like, now me give you oxygen, like I made you better. Without me, I've seen where some men talk to their women that they bought from back home like nonsense. So you think if that woman could start finding her own way to survive without depending on that person, she'll go through any drastic measure. So I always say to the men, how you treat your woman determines the outcome of what you will receive. But I will advise that don't go and marry somebody back home that you don't know. That's all. Maybe it could be your childhood love, but even if you stayed away for more than 5 years, that girl is not the same girl. She's experienced life in a different way. You understand? That guy is not the same guy. So what you like and what you need becomes it differs now. But under the umbrella is because it's my love. You go there and you pretend. Then you come. People can accept that partners, like couples, can become strangers at some point. But it's how you work with it that matters. So what happened is a lot of men meet women. That innocent girl is become educated. That innocent girl who used to nod her head like this to everything can also have an input to something. So when you try to come as a challenge to her, she'll say, stop. It's not like that anymore. I'm no longer a child. That's where it becomes a problem because you brought me over. Now I changed your life. That the master becomes a servant somehow. But like I said, if you treat anybody nice, you will receive nice. What you put out in the universe, that's what you will receive. I'm sorry to say, my personal opinion is majority of the men that go back home to marry those women, they don't go to marry them because I'm looking for true love. They're going to marry them because they feel that those women can be controlled. Those women will look up to them. It's a matter of superiority. You understand? So when they go back there, because according to them, women like us that grew up here, our eyes have opened. We are too woke. We are too legislature bound. You know, you can't tell us. We know the law. We know the days. So there's one back there. His little $100 a month is not even up to my pack lunch. But the girl back home, if he sends her $100, she'll be like this. So they underestimate those queens back home, thinking that those women don't know what they want. But in today's modern society, we see on social media, they're more reckless than us. African young women now don't care. They shake their booty everywhere. It's becoming, you know, everything is about getting what you want to survive. So there's no difference now between us and them. So now
So
men
now,
start having the
you wonder, now, if you want to settle down, if you want to marry, you prefer someone in the UK, not someone in Africa, right?
Not really. If I want to settle down, I will prefer to be where my partner is. I
Okay.
don't choose the location. One person,
So
like
if
I
your
said
partner
previously,
is in Africa, meaning you are
I would rather
moving to
he move,
Africa.
or he
Okay.
can come over. But
Mm,
I don't want this long distance rubbish.
relationship.
You understand? Because
Mm,
I don't believe that you can build a connection from a
mm,
distance. And that's one
mm,
thing we keep forgetting, that the mind doesn't function like that. Out of sight is out of mind. You
mm,
understand? But what builds a
mm,
connection is what? The way you look at each other, the way you argue,
mm,
the way you amend your problems. Those are the little threads that builds love, that connection.
mm,
But when I'm
mm,
talking to my partner in Africa, hi baby, we're always happy. So when we get to know each other, it's almost like our first fight will be like, I can't. So I'm not saying that it must be from UK. It will be nice. To be honest, it will be nice if he's from the UK.
Before accepting a man in your life,
Mm-hmm.
what do you look at? What do you have to see in the man that you say, okay, this man, I would like to settle down with this man? What do you look at?
For me, it has to be somebody that has a strong will, a fighting
Mm,
spirit, somebody that has
mm,
respect for themselves. Because I know
mm,
if you respect yourself, you respect me. You understand? And
mm,
I also look at how he takes the struggles in life. Because that person that doesn't give up on his own personal struggles in life, who gets up and
mm,
go and is not
mm,
ashamed to change career because it will benefit his family, that kind of
mm,
person that strive for the best, for me, I know that if our relationship was to go left, my king is always going to be, it's like a shapeshifter. I want somebody that's like a multi-talented person when it comes to dealing with skills,
mm,
and somebody
mm,
that knows how to convey themselves, how you talk, you understand, your persona, how you carry yourself. I don't judge. If you drink, as long as you don't drink to get drunk to stoop. If you smoke, that's your business. But when it comes to certain things like children coming into the situation, now we all have to cut what we desire to a certain limit. So
mm,
sacrifices, that's what I look for. And I don't want this typical, I'm the man, you're the woman. There is no such thing as hierarchy. In this world that we're in, a man can fall today, the house still needs to be running. Women are running homes, men are running homes. So I want a best friend, a team player. That's
mm.
what I'm
I
looking for.
see.
And somebody that's very is taller than me though.
Somebody that is
I
taller
like
than
height.
you.
Of
You like height.
course.
What about this?
Listen, do you see this? This can be made, see, when it comes to that money issue, I don't believe that that's a definition of happiness. Can I tell you why?
Mm, tell me
Because
why.
that's something you can make. Anything you can
Mm,
make can disappear and
mm,
can be remake because
mm,
it doesn't last. I'm very much a spiritual kind of person. So I believe that with money is something that can enhance the household, can enhance your
mm,
relationship, but it's not a definition of your relationship because it can go at any time. So this bit,
mm,
as long as you're working, you have an earning, you earn a salary, a legit
mm,
salary, and we can maintain
mm.
our house, our box, and we work harder to get more boxes. Now that's what I'm talking about. So this,
Okay.
I can
A
make it.
lot of the ladies, I see a lot of the ladies on social media saying they want this, they want, if you don't have money, you need to have this, you need to do this, at least you're working, you need to have own a car, own a
Don't
house, and all those
don't
things.
listen to that. I'm not downing females. Do not listen to that, because I feel like on social media, people would say what they want to say just to get that attention. But behind the scene, that average girl is probably sleeping with somebody that is a road sweeper. That average girl is in love with the average Joe, but she will come and tell you that her expectation is the Rolls Royce driver guy. You need to have money,
Mm,
but her boyfriend
mm,
is a cleaner.
mm.
So I try not to listen to what women or people say, because people's perception of life on social media is different from reality.
Mm.
So we all want that rich person in life. Every man wants a woman that's endowed financially, physically, but you might get the endowed woman with no knowledge.
Mm.
But you might have the woman that's not so attractive with a incredible mindset. So who would you go for? Let me ask you. You have a woman that's
Now you
very
asking.
attractive.
I'm the one asking. I'm the one
Listen.
asking you the question. You are not asking me questions.
No, no, no. So who would you go for? Now,
You
if
are
you
asking
look
me
at it,
question. I'm the one asking you question here. I'm your
all
host.
right, I'll say it. So
You are my
it's a
guest.
matter of choice. It's a matter of choice. So that those women on social media is just another marketing strategy to get attention. Behind the
Mm.
scene is
Mm.
a different story. So I try
And,
not to
and,
listen to social media.
and you know, talking about the men coming to Africa to marry, you know, sometimes it works, but majority is a problem. They will maybe they will know the lady way back, or even they met the lady online, and because they are in abroad, the lady will, if the lady even doesn't want him or
Mm,
doesn't love him, she will accept, say, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. She'll pretend to be nice with you and all that just because they want to come to abroad. I know some of the men to also do to the ladies
mhm.
because they want to come to abroad. They'll kind of like be nice and have time for you and all that, giving you sweet vibes and all that. When you come for them, things change. Problem is common.
But I said, like I said previously, when you're going, the first sight of love is strangers. You understand? When you
Mm,
meet a woman first, it's a stranger to you. So it's how you relate before you start building connection.
mm,
But what we refuse to accept is that based on the circumstances back home in Africa, people are becoming more desperate.
mm,
And one thing I always say to people, before you judge those men, those women back there, if you were in their shoes and somebody from abroad comes for your
mm,
hand or comes to marry you, would you say no? Because at that point you are on that mind of survival.
mm,
But the issue is not the person that's needing the help. The issue is the able human that is going to get the help. Is
mm,
that what you want? So the issue is not these men come or these women come and they get treated badly. Where you're going, you know it's a hustling ground.
mm,
Women there, they may have master degree and they're still doing prostitution. Some of them are
mm,
selling in the market. They have to support their parents. They have sisters to pay school fees. When you come for the average young girl in Africa, she might be the most intelligent woman, but yet limited. So when you go for something that's limit in life, what does that mean? The outcome
mm,
is could be good, it could be bad. Would you invest in a bad investment? No. But when you go into an investment, you're hoping for good things. So if that doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But people that are going after those people back there, they are the problem. They are creating those monsters. Because at the same time, they also have this mindset. Majority of people that go back home to find their partners, there's this level of hierarchy. I'm above you. How do you communicate with that person? Because before you saw them, you were attracted to them. Something
mm,
somewhere must have gone wrong for that relationship to go 360. So it's not about the fact that you're from Europe and the woman
mm,
down talks to you. It could be the woman,
mm,
it could be you. So I would say that the reason people are experiencing such love or bad luck in love when they go back home, and is because it's two strangers who are not willing to meet equally. You understand? So when the woman that needs you, she becomes very submissive, or the man becomes very able. So you are expecting Janet in Ghana, who was bowing to your every need, and she comes to England now. She has to do 12 hours a day too. She has to do certain. Her mindset will change. People don't understand that even when you move to Africa and come to Europe, your body changes, your everything, your immune system change. So what about your mind? What the eye sees becomes your reality.
Let me ask you about this 50-50 thing, your system. I mean, you're paying for this, we are all working, you pay for rent, this one will pay for food stuff and all that. It turns out to be, I mean, we are all equal. There's no man in the house. It's not like we are in Africa, man in the house, we take decision on that because of 50-50. And it's also causing a lot of problems and all that. Let me ask you about 50-50.
Rightly said, in this part of the world, a woman earns a salary just like a man earns a salary. But I feel like when it comes to a house, it depends on where you are. So like I said, when it comes to love, it's not about, there is don't no measures. When you come in the middle, you work as a team, there will be no weighing of anything. So that's where we get it wrong. And I do feel like some men are very, very bitter with the fact that some women can earn a salary and still expect to have that old-fashioned man. When you go out, do you pay on the first date? Do you do you give money? You know, but I think that 50-50 is good. It's not a bad thing at all. We are in a modern world, and I keep saying, if we're evolving, evolve with the motion, move with time. You know, our mothers didn't have a job, so the only reason Papa will give Mama money is because without Papa's money, Mama don't have no money. You understand? But in this generation and this nowadays, we both earn money. You can take the mortgage, I can take the maintenance of the house. And if we go on a date, like example, as a man, when you're taking a woman out, you should also know within yourself that it's an act of kindness. You're pursuing somebody. It's just like you're going for a job or you're going to get something. You have to go with a mind of giving. Be a bit more reluctant. That one day gesture could get you a queen to know that you will protect her. But it doesn't mean every day you go out, every time you have to pick the bills. I disagree with that. But as a first date, you have to package yourself as a man, because if you let a woman to say, oh, pay 50, let's split the bills, that's cheap on a first date. I find that a bit degrading, because how the mindset works. But does that mean that you have to pay every meal that we go out, every date that we go out?
When we are in Africa, we both working, but the man takes care of everything, the bills. In Africa, that's how we do it.
Yeah, but in Africa it's different. The lifestyle cost in Africa, in comparison to the lifestyle cost in the Western world, is daytime and night. And
so why are we trying to? Why are we trying to be like to be like you guys, to be like the whites? Why are we trying to copy them?
That's because this whole issue of our mindset as blacks in general, I still feel like a lot of us still have that slave mindset, that insecurity, that because if you notice, the Western world have always made us feel like they are above us. We've literally worshipped these people. Because if you were to go back in the days when we see a white person, a missionary that comes, every kid will come and start following them. You know, we've idolized the Westerners for years. This is not something that's new. So whatever they put out there, we always assume is better than our own. You understand? So because in the Western world, the rappers are putting videos, girls are getting money, but it's only recently we found out that a lot of these girls that are on social media, they go Dubai, they do a lot of rubbish to earn that money. So, but I said, us in Africa, we need to start accepting our own ability and gift and capability in life. So I'm the average woman, for example. I say, if I'm a healthcare worker, right? I work as a healthcare assistant. In a month, I can get 1,009. 1,009 in Africa, that's in millions. You see the differ? But that 1,009 here is good enough for me, like somebody earning 30 pounds in Ghana. You see what I'm saying? So that woman that's earning that money is her husband, because the culture of Africa has said the man is the provider. It's an embarrassing shame for an African man to sit in his house or in his palace and let a woman feed him. We convey that as a degrading symbol. Meanwhile, in the Western world, is equality. You see the difference? So what the white man sees as 50-50, in another world, is a shame. But because we idolize the Western world so much, we're trying to implement their own culture in our culture, which will never fit. And it makes me sick to see that a lot of young black men are trying to say, or young black females, a man has to do this, but you don't put that on the table. What do you deserve as a woman? Why should he spend on you? Our mothers were running 4 kids, cleaning, cooking, running here, doing that. Our generation can't do that. So what do you do to get that treatment as a woman?
Why can't you guys do that? What has
We do
changed?
it. What has changed is that a woman now also has the same platform as a man. A woman has the same hours at work. We finish work the same time. We leave the house the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. The average household in the UK has a washing machine. The average household has now, we have what you call air fryer. I don't need to burn my finger in the hot oil anymore. I put it in the air fryer. Life has become more easy based on the Western world. But we focus on that so much that we've lost our own African values. That's the problem. The 50-50 lingo is the Western world lingo. We don't have that in Africa. So I'm very surprised that Africans are trying to adapt to this 50-50. Even the salary that the average African woman is earning is still not up to what some men will earn or her husband will earn. So where are you going with that mentality of Western world in a country that people are jobless, people are struggling? They're not really struggling here. Their economy is doing good. No matter how bad it is here, people are still claiming benefit. So 50-50 is a westernized thing. It's not really our culture. And I think women that are holding on to that.
There's another thing that is causing confusion in our marriages and all that. I mean, looking at we are all, let's say we are married, we are in the Western world, we are in the UK. And then we are looking back home. You know, family back home definitely will be calling and say, oh, I need to send this, I need to do a project. But most of the stories I've heard, they don't come together as in plan, okay, this is what we want to do back home. But the woman will be doing this a project, the man to want to do project. So they're kind of like understanding. They don't understand themselves.
Like there's a misunderstanding there.
Yes, there's misunderstanding. And this one will be sending money to the family today. Mama, Papa says this. This one to say, Mama, Papa says this. And this one's going to do something. This one is doing a project and not telling the husband. And this one is sending money. The husband too is doing some kind of thing that is not telling the wife. Then it brings misunderstanding. I want to buy a
Mm-hmm.
house. Oh, no, don't buy it here. I want to build first in my hometown. Don't do it. I also want to build first. I mean, so it looks like communication is the problem and understanding each other. That is the most
Well,
important thing. Communication is poor.
of course, communication is one of the most difficult thing to establish, even as friend.
Mm,
And I think, like I said previously, people's definition of marriage is not based on their own personal value. It's based on
mm,
pressure.
mm,
So some people are getting married not because they are in love. Oh my God, I'm 40. I need to marry. And anything that clicks, you go with it. So when you're not married to your your partner, somebody that
mm,
reasons like you reason, that's what division comes in place. So you
mm,
have two people with two different aims and two different ambition and
mm,
two different ways of doing things. So, but
mm,
in this part of the world, they don't encourage marriage unity.
mm,
They encourage independency. So, like you said, why do we fix our mind on the Western mentality? Communication here is difficult because everyone has an opinion. So a lot of people don't dialogue, not because they don't like to. They barely see each other. In Europe, you barely see your partner. You only
mm,
see your partner when you're coming back, you're sleeping. If you're lucky, some people work Saturdays and Sundays. So being a partner without or having a relationship with no communication, that's what happened. And two, I feel like people are not married to their right partners. And if I want to do a project back home and I don't communicate it with my partner, then at that point we're strangers, we're flatmates. You understand? So a lot of people are flatmates, but they're in marriage. And I feel like, and some men are so accustomed to that because it takes away the responsibility. Let's be
mm,
honest, the average African man here who's got married, let's say I'm married to an African, right? And I have family back home, chances are he's not taking responsibilities of my family. Like if I was married back home, the man automatically takes on the responsibility of that woman's family. So that man
mm,
abroad is not so pressured. So that woman is seeing like, I'm not expecting you to fund for my family. I can also help if I want to give my mom £2,000. If I know you're going to say no, that's my mom, I will give her. When you start having that mentality, then you know you're not married for love. It's companionship, friend zone. That's
mm,
what I call it. So pick
mm,
the right partner, don't be pressured, and find somebody that will blow the same whistle as you. That's all. I just think people
mm,
are marrying
mm.
for pressure right now. So communication don't work.
Yeah, yeah. I see some of the ladies talking about, I'm done, I'm done. I mean, I'm done, I'm tired. No more men. I mean, no more relationship. I see them talking about it. Can you live without a man?
Were you born with a man or woman? If that's your choice, then that's fine. Of course, you can live without a man. Of course, a man can live
Mm,
without a woman. It's a matter of choice.
mm,
But I think what people like always get it twisted about life is that
mm,
it doesn't matter. Like if you're single or if you're married, because a lot of people that are married are bloody miserable. The clubs are full of more married
mm,
men than single men, to be honest. So nine out of
mm,
10, the way marriage is being portrayed in this generation is a thing to run away from. So young
mm,
people are not really fussy. So I
mm,
think that anybody can live without anybody, but it has to be a matter of choice. You can't deprive yourself if that's what you want. But if a
mm,
woman says it's over, it's over, it's over, then look underneath it. Why is she saying that? Or if a man is saying a woman is bad, why is she saying that? We need to come out of that
mm,
umbrella of stereotypes and boxing people, into a certain category. A woman like, she's fine and she's single. That means her character is bad. Like I said, primitive mindsets create a lot of bullshit. So
mm,
absolutely think that anyone can be without anyone. just you attract who you are. So if you want happiness, generate happiness, ooze happiness, and happiness will come to you. But you have
That's
the right
right.
to go if it's not right.
Yolanda, thank you so much for coming on my show. I really enjoyed your vibe. I mean,
God
we
help my
enjoyed you
soul.
and all that. I mean, I'll invite you again. I'm sure those who watch this program will really enjoy. Will really enjoy your vibe too as well. I mean, what's your social media handles? Those who want to reach out to you, your TikTok handle and all that. Now you are going to get more messages, so prepare.
Yeah. I only use TikTok. My TikTok, you can catch me as at ydaniel885. So ydaniel85. That's my
Why Daniel
social
5?
media.
Tell all your
At
Cameroonians to
ydaniel.
come and watch and come and join us on SBTV International. Tell them in French and your PG. Bonsoir, bonsoir. Waiting they happen. You people come watch SBTV International. Let's go.
I'm Anglophone. I'm Anglophone Cameroon. So we
But
speak
you speak,
English.
but you speak PG too, right? You guys don't speak PG.
Of course, yeah. We speak pidgin, not French, the Anglophone.
Okay, so
So
let's hear you.
I call her all my Cameroonians, you know. So you want me to say in pidgin, Cameroon pidgin?
Anyhow you want to say it. Just anyhow, whatever you want to say.
Thank you so much, TV. To my Cameroonian people, come and support and show love. And it's a beautiful platform to express, and you also learn. And like I said, you can catch me at ydaniel85. Make una can support una sister and una brother, because it's not easy to get the kind platform. So let's come together and support. No matter who or where you are, tune in, and your comments will be very much appreciated. Anything I say that's not right, please feel free to correct me, because I'm open into learning as well. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much. Nice one, Yolanda. Thank you so much for coming on my show, SVTV International. You can also come on my show. My numbers are on the screen. Just feel free. WhatsApp me, send me a voice note. Let's vibe. Thank you so much. Subscribe, SVTV International, the voice of the world. Share to your friends to join us. Peace out.